Hey, the AEW 2K19 Universe Mode All In has gotten 6 views today. Woot woot. We are, because I just got the notification that Wrestling Reality Rundown is live.
Welcome. Good evening, everyone. Or good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you're located. Hello. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Wrestling Reality Rundown. Tonight, we are joined by the Red Standard. Hello. Hi. Hello. How are all of you guys? How you guys doing? What's happening? I'm here, joined by Mr. It's a Me Invasion, who, you still over there at Area 51? Still over there? Still hiding? Alright, you keep safe there, keep it safe, at least for the next hour until we're done with the podcast. And we're also joined by SKF Effect, Mr. I was at the SmackDown Live house show that almost got canceled, but thankfully didn't get canceled, although I'm a little upset that Becky was at Raw when she was originally promoted at SmackDown.
You know what? But it's okay, because at the SmackDown house show, we had the Iconics, who successfully defended their tag team titles.
Oh wow, so they can win in house shows but not on TV. Okay.
Bingo.
Oh man, we're already throwing shade in the first minute. I love it. Alright.
They were a little lie, a little cheat, a little steal.
So, this week we're now joined by Liv1122. She is currently guarding the Drulix team. So, we are just joined us three. Tonight, we have several stuff to discuss about. We have, of course, AEW. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, we had the official announcement of the first television taping that's going to be live October 2nd. It's on a Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. That's happening at Washington, D.C. Capital One Arena. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts?
I'm really happy they finally confirmed that it is going to be live weekly tapings. Live weekly shows to be aired. It's going to be fun. We're going to have to wait and see just how well the talent gets used at these shows. You know, how many people are actually going to get airtime. That's going to be the mystery.
For what we've seen so far with the production, I think, staging-wise, they've done a great job with. I think the stage that they've used for the last two pay-per-views or the last three events that they've done have been really solid. So definitely they're definitely going to do their best to make it a big show feel.
Even with South Park referencing in there.
that is true. That is true. WTF. I remember that. episode. But as Steven kind of mentioned there, because it's like, we only have a 2-hour weekly show, and it's going to be interesting to see how the talent's going to be utilized. So far, they haven't announced anything, in terms of, a main event, explosion type of show for, the lower tier guys. And it's going to be interesting to see if there's any plans for that, maybe. They're probably exclusively on their Bleacher Report app. I could probably see something like that happening. But
quite the explosion event.
But I do think, and they're also following what Brett was mentioning, is we're finally gonna, things are kind of gonna get rolling for them now with the weekly television in terms of their exposure, their popularity, and of course their growth as a company as well. But looking at it as well, there are also reports that NXT might be looking to be on FS1 come October once the Fox deal kicks in, and maybe we might see a potential, Wednesday night war between NXT and AEW, at least for the first hour of AEW, because AEW will, of course, be 2 hours. So what are your guys' thoughts on the potential AEW NXT kind of war going on?
NXT to 2 hours.
Oh God, no.
They don't.
Because Seth Rollins a couple of days ago was on a conference call, and he was offering his thoughts on AEW. He was asked, what his thoughts on AEW, and he essentially came in with the idea of this is it's a new competitor. There's guys that are trying to take food off the table, of course, and I mean, a comment like that is you see a lot of these talents that are being offered new contracts, and they're being given big bonuses that they probably would not have gotten last year. So it's kind of want a competitor to go out of business as a talent. It's kind of it's kind of the wrong idea to have.
That sounds like such the exaggeration from Seth. Oh, they're trying to take food off my plate. Yeah, shut up, Seth.
So going back to the AEW television, it's going to be live October the 2nd from the Capital One Arena. Is there anything you guys would expect to happen on this first night? What would you guys like to see happen?
Won't they be starting the, how are they running their tag team titles? I know there's supposed to be a tag title tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Will that be taking place at All Out, or will that be taking place starting when they leave live?
It's coming after All Out because the tag match with there's the advanced the buy.
True.
So it's not, so the tournament's coming after All Out.
So I expect to see something building up for the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta debut those belts, and if they're wanting to build interest in it, they have to show the interest in the tag team division.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure enough.
So coming October, what do you guys see kind of being the show based around?
What was that, Caesar?
Who do you guys see kind of the show kind of, seeing as the face of the show?
Leva.
Because, God. Oh God, should I even ask this one? Oh my God.
She's the face of the show. And for Brett, it'd be Allie. If Liv was here, she'd say Jungle Boy or MJF. That Allie's dead.
literally that kind of, sort of, actually.
This is okay to lie to, apparently. Here's what. The show's going to kick off with probably Cody, Kenny, and the Young Bucks and Brandy coming out, welcoming everybody to the show. With her, and it'll probably be the AEW champion in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jericho's not the champion, Jericho's going to appear somewhere in the middle of it and do something with some young talent. There. That's my spot of the first show.
Well, AEW is going to be debuting on TNT on October 2nd. They're going to be joining a new broadcaster. And speaking of broadcasters, lately there have been some rumbling rumors of Impact Wrestling finding a new home. And this week there's been an interesting development. It appears as if they're not just looking to put Impact on Access TV, as originally reported, but it seems Anthem is wanting to purchase Access itself. So that is definitely a very interesting. Go ahead.
It reminds me of like the spoiled rich kid who can't get their way, so they just buy whatever told them no, whatever company told them no. Like, oh, we want to be on Access. Access like, maybe. They go, oh, well, we'll just buy you. Anyway, I still don't get Access, so I still can't watch. Thankfully, they re-signed with Twitch, so I can attempt to watch every now and then when I... God, just get a better time, guys. I can't stay up until, what? What time does it start? 10 p.m.?
Midnight. It ends at midnight on Friday.
Yeah, guys.
Which is interesting considering coming, of course, on Friday, on October, SmackDown, of course, is going to be on Fridays from 8 to 10. So it's kind of going to be hard for fans to want to watch 2 extra hours on a Friday night with Impact, especially on something like Twitch. Brett, your thoughts?
We've supported them through some of the worst times possible.
We're all title series.
Can't lose your spot on the channel if you own the channel.
That would be an interesting situation, something like that. Well, technically, I mean, it's funny because it's like the whole, because Pursuit kind of is somewhat owned by Anthem, and it's kind of funny that Anthem is on. They're pretty upset with Pursuit, so the whole Pursuit thing has obviously been complete and utter mess. So it seems like any improvement would be, any channel would be a major improvement, even if, me and Steven don't even get, access down here in Florida. So, still an improvement.
Comcast, come on. I pay you enough.
Go Xfinity. Get on this.
It'd be the most boring stream imaginable because it would take forever to get to anybody.
That is true. That is true. I have experienced that before. That is true.
They come up at Walmart and sir, who do you have for cable? I'm like, I have you guys. You take enough money for less service. Not in the exact words, but basically.
Oh man. But something that Impact is currently planning on doing soon on August the 2nd, they are on Impact Plus with an Unbreakable event, and the headlining match will be Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan for the #1 contendership to the Impact World Championship. At Slammiversary, Sami Callihan got the win over Tessa, and a lot of people were questioning maybe they'll lead to something more with Tessa, a feature victory. And here we are with the rematch. This is going to be the match where Tessa's going to win and get the #1 contender shot.
See, you have to add something to what you said. It's not just that it's the #1 contendership. It's #1 contendership at Bound for Glory, their WrestleMania event.
Mm-hmm.
So, main event spotlight on the line in this match between those two.
What's going to happen here? Is Tessa going to get the victory, and we're going to have Brian Cage, the Machine, versus the undeniable Tessa Blanchard? A match that has happened before in the Indies, but not on a national scene.
At Wrestle Circus for a champion, well, maybe not for a championship, but so here's the. And that Tessa's able to hold her own against them.
And didn't she win as well?
I don't think she got the win.
Okay.
Right. I fully support Tessa going towards a world title. I feel like that's most likely the route that they're going for this event. But, so where do you go then with Sami? Because you had Sami go over, beat Tessa, hand her the bat, so kind of give her the respect. And now they're going into it again. Let's say Tessa wins here, goes face Brian Cage, because they want to be able to say, hey, look, we didn't just do a women's triple threat main event at our big show. We actually had the woman go for the big championship, the main championship. And I feel like Sami's then just going to be forgotten that when he's been, the draw for the longest time. And then just becomes... I'm going to say it depends on how healthy Brian Cage is to determine the outcome of that match. If he could possibly hurt or anything like that, Tessa's going to walk out the winner. Tessa has a boyfriend? Tessa has a boyfriend?
Daga, I believe, right?
Who?
Daga, who was previously on Lucha Underground.
Daga, wow.
So yeah, it's just interesting because, like, you know, what Steven said, because, like, Sami Callihan, like, he's been on the roster by Bound for Glory. He'll be in the roster for 2 years, and he hasn't really had that world title shot.
I would say, sadly, there's not many people left in Impact that have been there longer.
Oof. And his wardrobe has gotten better, might I add.
Caesar loves Mrs. Wardrobes. They're existing. I'll never forget Eddie and Lashley just being stuck somewhere in the Hardy compound woods. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of understand that feeling. But, not going for it, though. I'm supporting Tessa. I'm supporting Tessa because of her little tweet earlier about matching Power Ranger outfits. She's a secret Power Ranger nerd. I approve. Which means for Unbreakable, she should come out and, based on what she said, Unbreakable, she should be blue, and then Bound for Glory, she'll be coming out in pink. She'll finish the set.
So then, so we're at Bound for Glory. It's Brian Cage and Tessa Blanchard. Let's kind of, like, see that as the match that might be happening. What do you expect happening in that kind of match?
Well, you know, here's one thing we didn't think about. What if her and Sammy tie? What if her and Sammy come to a draw?
So triple threat at Bound for Glory, maybe? I mean,
at Bound for Glory.
There's potential for that to happen, but I just think if you're teasing, you know, a female going for the main championship, I think you would probably want that one-on-one. Although, of course, a triple threat wouldn't be out of the picture as well. Mm-hmm. Because as Steven said, it's like, you know, what exactly do you do with Sami Callihan, like, if he loses this match and doesn't get that world title match? Because he's practically worked with pretty much everyone on the roster already. I mean, he's already wrestled Swan for the title, he's wrestled Eddie, he's wrestled any of the other baby faces that are on there. So it's like, it's kind of just interesting to see, like, what exactly would they do with him? Like, would they pair him off away from OVE? Would they make him on his own? And then have sort of like an inner OVE Civil War kind of thing, maybe? It's kind of hard to tell, but...
OVE Civil War. They'll face even themselves. That's weird thought, but all the power. So
maybe they might even have maybe someone that Sammy hasn't wrestled, at least on like, because he has wrestled a match on the Impact Plus, but on like in terms of like a storyline, he hasn't wrestled someone like an RVD, who happened to show up somewhere via an extreme wildcard rule, actually. This Monday he showed up on the Raw Reunion show, of course, Raw Reunion featuring a lot of people from the past showing up, and we recently kind of had a show like this last year with Raw 25, but this one a kind of a little bit of a different situation here. Steven, what were your I don't know if you have already gotten a chance to see it, but what were your thoughts on Raw Reunion, if you had any?
I'm glad I went to the SmackDown house show instead. However, I found much enjoyment and laughs out of the whole 24/7 title shenanigans. Why in the world Kelly gets to be the first female to be 24/7 champion is beyond me. But
she's a legend, as well as Alicia Fox. Apparently, she's now a WWE legend.
I think she is the woman that has been on the roster longer than anyone else. So you know what? Go ahead, count her a legend. She's been there.
I think Natty is the first one, but Alicia I think is the second. I believe
they're both up there. So I count legends. Natty's just a more impressive, better to watch in ring talent. So that's my.
But yeah, I mean, I just watched the Robbie.
Here's the other thought: Austin doesn't age. Stone Cold found the Fountain of Youth somewhere in Texas. It may be in his beer, but that man does not age.
His beard did spike up in sales recently after his Raw appearance, so there might be something to that.
Which, thanks to Tori Wilson posting a close-up, the beers that were used on Raw were just Corona Light and not actually Steve Austin's own beer.
Oh, wow. You have an opportunity to promote your own beer, but you don't even use it. It's interesting.
They used the label, but they didn't use the actual beer. Wow, Brett. You know where your mind is.
Except for Naomi. Naomi's the one that kind of separates herself from the rest.
Lita walked out, except she just did a split to get into the ring. They did. They let her be a referee.
I feel like you could do, like, kind of continuing what Brett said, like, a lot of these people that they brought back is like, what exactly is the reason for most of these people even there? Because it's like a Godfather just shows up and just dances. It's like, this guy, they paid this guy to come here. They probably paid for, for him to fly over here. And it's like, for what reason? Just to, like, get on camera and dance? It's like, money. You bring RVD in, and it's like, he's just there to just, like, do his little entrance thing and just, Kurt Angle, Sergeant Slaughter, Eric Bischoff's already working there, but, like, they bring back Eve Torres and Caitlyn, who I'm pretty sure most people didn't even recognize.
Yo, when I saw a picture of her, I was looking at, I'm like, who is that? And then I paused, I saw someone say, oh wow, Caitlyn looks so different. I'm like, what? That's Caitlyn? Shit. Like, I hopped on her Instagram, I'm like, she don't look like her most recent photos posted. She blew up for that one.
Yep, she
I'm about to say, where she couldn't even attend a Hall of Fame. Like, Tori had to give her one of the tickets just for her to be able to attend this last one. Yeah. They should have had a split contest between her and Naomi.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny too because it's like continuing onwards with like just the usage of those people. Because Sami Zayn comes into the Raw reunion party and he's like berating everyone, all those legends, and then Rey Mysterio comes in saying like, hey, you better respect for the people that paved these people in here. You better respect them because they paved the way for you. And it's like I'm just seeing like Julian Hall is like right there, and it's like it's out like what. Respect the veterans like Jillian Hall who paved the way for people like Sami Zayn. It's like
Jillian Hall had to get her a growth taken off her face by the boogeyman. Come on now, respect that shit.
It's just that what exactly was just obviously the purpose was a rating stuff, but it's just that like I feel like you could have done something else like. Each week you could bring someone back. Like this week they could have brought back Stone Cold, and the next week you promote Hulk Hogan, and then the week after that you promote Ric Flair, and then the week after that you promote The Rock or whatever if he's available. It's like I feel like it could have been done differently because these reunion shows are just a giant waste of time. It's really a waste of time because like nothing really like. Explain to me why the Revival were paired with Devon.
They're old school tag team bound, and he's an old school tag team person. Makes sense to me.
But their gimmick is like, tag team, pure grappling wrestling, not like tables, hardcore stuff kind of thing. Pat Patterson pinning Drake Maverick. That's the dream match I always go to sleep thinking about. Pat Patterson versus Drake Maverick.
Pat Patterson, who can't take a bump, so they just had to do a phantom pin on him. Yeah. I'm scared. Because she's going to put over the harlot Charlotte. After Caesar will celebrate.
We're gonna have a party. Yeah, we're gonna have a party. We already confirmed it. Yeah.
Cheers of joys.
A party. We're gonna have pyro and whatnot. But continuing on from what Brett said about having legends put over the new talent, the one thing I did enjoy from the Raw reunion was kind of the continuation of seeing the Fiend Bray Wyatt, seeing him use the mandible claw on Mick Foley. I thought it was a good utilization of Mick Foley, and I kind of would like to see Blake continue to use the mandible claw. I think it's a good finish for someone like Blake's character. And we also kind of like discussed about this last week on last week's show, and it's interesting with the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt as well, kind of giving him that split personality character, just like a Joseph Park.
I enjoyed it. I thought that was entertaining, and I do hope that was kind of like Mick Foley handing the torch of the mandible claw to Bray Wyatt to use, because that would be an interesting finisher for him to use. Sister Abigail doesn't seem quite as fitting anymore for the Fiend. You're just really salty about the whole Melina thing.
Yeah, and it's also just the fact that it's like you're promoting these people ahead of time. You're like promoting these these names, like, this person's coming back, this person's coming back, and this person's coming back, that person's coming back too. Remember that person's coming back, and it's like you bring them back just to basically do nothing. You're basically creating hype for nothing, and it's just kind of hard to kind of get into these shows anymore when you're creating so much hype for all these people coming back, and it's like you have absolutely nothing to do with them.
But people will still tune in, people will still watch because they want to see these people. It was easy. Steve Austin just go in the ring, talk some trash, drink some beer. He could have tossed out a stunner.
Especially involving the trash can. Like, it seems like, that's the only idea they ever have for her. The 50th time we've seen DX this year.
I mean, I've grown to know that that's what you expect from the reunion shows. Is it's just going to be the legends come out, do skits, more talking than action. What you expect, but it's what people will tune in and watch, so.
It's just interesting because it's like, come 2040, 2050, it's like, who are the people that they're going to do shows like this for? It's like, all that they cater to as towards those names to the past. Because, like, right now, it's like, would you care if, like, let's say, Seth Rollins or whatnot were to, like, make a return on Raw in the year 2050 or something like that? It's like, I don't necessarily view him as, like, a same draw power as someone like, let's say, like, even, like, because, like, you look at a lot of these names, it's like a Jillian Hall or I don't mean to cast so much on Jillian Hall, but it's just like, someone around that level, Godfather as well, someone that wasn't, one of those top stars, but yet, when you see him, it's like, you think back to that Attitude Era, and it's like, you remember, come aboard the whole train, you'll get excited because, he was such a popular character, but it's like, do you even have any of those people right now? that you could even, like, let's say in the year 2050, like I said, like, you bring them back for a reunion show. Would anyone really care? Batista, maybe.
Apparently John Cena showed up, opened the show, and then left.
Well, he is kind of, because, I mean, he is busy with the Fast 9 or 8 or 27, whatever movie they're at right now. And it's interesting, Steven, that you mentioned John Cena, because John Cena showed up in a promo rap battle with the Usos, and of course bringing up some interesting extracurricular activities of the Usos. Let's just put it at that. I don't think we should want to delve any further into that.
Wow, the extracurricular activities, that makes it sound like it could be a lot worse than what it was that they were doing. Cena made it a DUI joke, and sure enough, one of the Usos got a DUI. Ladies and gentlemen, do not drink and drive. If you drink, take an Uber, call a friend. Do not get behind the wheel. We here at Wrestling Reality Rundown do not approve of reckless endangerment, drinking and driving under the influence, etc., etc. Be responsible. The end.
This PSA was paid for by the friends and family of Stephen.
But don't get too wasted and fall asleep in the staircase at a hotel. But at least if you're gonna drink, you're not getting behind the wheel of a car in that case. That's my only defense on that one. A certain somebody that I know in the wrestling world had gotten arrested very, very recently for being drunk in public.
I love how this guy thought he was talking about you at first.
It was, because I got tagged and had it sent to me like 20 million times after it happened. No, I've never fallen asleep in the stairwell. Random beds, maybe, but never the stairwell. On maybe, never stairwell.
So that was the Raw reunion show on Monday night, ended with a toast to Monday Night Raw hosted by Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think a lot of people were upset Kevin Owens was not on the show, because Kevin Owens was on the SmackDown Live house show that was in Fort Myers, a show that one SK attended, a one that he almost thought was going to get canceled because of this wildcard rule, and it did.
And God bless it, because we had a heck of a show.
What happened?
We got Kevin Owens. He beat Elias up. We had the Iconics retain the tag team titles. We had against the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh wow! Was it clean or was it like?
No, they lied. They cheated. They stole.
Like, was it a count out or a pinfall victory?
Pinfall.
Okay. Oh, still bad.
And then Nakamura retained over Matt Hardy and...
Listen, okay, excuse me. It's just that... Listen. I mean, listen. See, we're talking about, like, this women's division right now, and Asuka was one of the top women in that division. It's just frustrating to kind of just see where she is slotted right now, because, like, a year ago, you know, she was undefeated. Or 2 years ago, sorry, because last year her undefeated streak came to an end at WrestleMania. And it's like, okay, it's not the end of the world, it's not, they could still, book Asuka strong. And then what do they have them do? They have them have Carmella be the one to beat Charlotte for the title, and they have Carmella pin Asuka 2 times in a row on pay-per-view. And what has Asuka done ever since? What? Nothing. She's done absolutely nothing. She won the title in a TLC match, but then it's like, all the focus kind of shifted away from Asuka, and it was just between Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte for that WrestleMania match. Then Asuka didn't even get a WrestleMania match because they had to put both titles in the main event because the SmackDown title had nothing going for it.
And whose fault is that? Because they had to give it to Charlotte.
Keep Charlotte could feel special. Keep moving with the report.
So the main event match could just be all the more impressive and have it be both belts. Which then, what did they do? Oh, they let Charlotte beat Becky for the SmackDown title, only to have Bayley cash in on her. But lo and behold, Charlotte got to get one more reign off of it.
Well, we got to get her 16. It just made no sense if Charlotte was going to end up losing the title to Carmella that exact week. It made absolutely no sense.
Because Vince McMahon likes big sweaty Charlotte. Well,
continue on with your report.
Nakamura defended the Intercontinental Championship over Matt Hardy and Ali. I feel Matt was just there to be there, and it's really setting up for an Ali versus Nakamura match.
Where is Rusev anyways?
With Lana. And I'd probably take that over crap storylines.
True.
New Day defended their tag team titles against AOP, which I kind of forgot AOP was a thing.
Without Drake Maverick.
Yeah, we'll have them back without Drake Maverick because Drake Maverick was busy on Raw, Caesar.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's true.
Bayley beat Charlotte's ass and retained the women's title. Yeah, right. Apollo beat Andrade. And Kofi retained the WWE Championship over Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. It was a fun show. Did I run into somebody? Yeah. Matt Hardy. Because I had to go find a Hardy.
And how did that go?
Do I really attend a wrestling show if I don't find a Hardy? Yeah, I did send you the pic. It was good. It was fun. Oh, I put it up. My awful self. Okay, I'm being told I have to put up a photo.
Where are you putting the photo on?
Apparently, I'm just going to kind of show right here. Oh, there. So it's cool. First time seeing him in 2 years. We got to chit chat for a little bit.
That's awesome.
So just to throw shit. The birthday girl who can't be with us, she got to see Matt too.
Oh, happy birthday, Brittany. She's probably not watching this, but happy birthday.
But the fuck there.
What was her road rage name?
Rhiannon.
There you go.
Or Crazy Cat Lady. One of those two. Both are fitting. Her original name in the first episode was Cat Lady because she didn't have another name. So she was the Cat Lady.
So, do you guys have any other topics? It's been a slow week in the week that was wrestling. There wasn't much happening this week, but do you guys have any topics you'd like to discuss?
I want to see. It's going to be interesting as we make the way towards SummerSlam, as we make our way towards the new era with Paul Heyman being in charge of Raw and Eric Bischoff in charge of SmackDown, and how much they're going to make everything different for the shows. And yeah, if NXT gets a television deal, Triple H is in charge of that, so it's going to be 3 very different shows with 3 different minds running it.
This week, I'm just kind of wanted to point out, because this week Eric Bischoff was at the SmackDown taping. This was his first time at the taping, but he wasn't involved with creative, but he was kind of like chatting around with creative. So it seems, for Bischoff, it seems Paul Heyman's already assumed the role, but for Bischoff, it seems he's still being, he's still kind of slowly making his way into his own role.
Because Paul's been there, Paul's been around, so he knows everybody for it, so that makes sense. Bischoff is just getting reacquainted, getting to know everybody, getting to know how they work, getting to know their thoughts. So it'll be interesting and cool to see as it goes on how this progresses, how much different the shows actually become when they get around to doing an actual draft to see who's going to be on what show at that point going forward.
I guess you just do a draft. It's like you're basically telling us this, and it's like what does it mean next year when you're having all these Raw and SmackDown guys on the other brands? I don't know. I just don't see that draft happening. And if they were, I don't really see much people who really care, because it's like, what's going to happen when the ratings are not doing well? They're going to bring back this wild card rule, or they're going to break up the brand split so they can have the top guys on both brands.
Well, see, I'd like to see what they used to do back in the day for it, or they did a few times at least, is the superstars of Raw instead. There's 1 week where everyone is on both shows. It's kind of like an event of Raw versus SmackDown. The winner of the match, that show, got to add someone from the losing show. And it was like someone's randomly selected. That was cool, and that seemed to be more interesting than just the Superstar shakeup where anyone can just switch. Shot. He has props, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, where you start off at the draft. Yeah.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Time will tell, as Fox, of course, because there's also things with Bischoff. I mean, it remains to be seen with him, because it's like, I feel like for Bischoff's role, he's more just there for the network rather than creative. Because he's someone that's experienced as a producer. He's more experienced as a producer. I mean, of course, he's had history with, with TNA, with, being, moving off my phone, look at that. It seems he's more concerned with
Caesar really did drop his. There he is.
Oh my god.
It just seems he's more for the network rather than just being within, a producer or a booker, basically. I just think it was, because everything just seems to go with Vince. It's like, you can have Bischoff and Heyman, they can present their ideas, but at the end, it's like, because Vince can, he can change it, he can approve of it, and I was like...
That was my hashtag recently. Their job is going to be hashtag convince Vince. They have their job. If they want to actually make their shows be completely different, try to be more relevant, try to be more in tune for the fans, they have to convince Vince on changes. Shake it up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on what they. It helps to make it interesting, depending on what they do with the talent, with the product.
It was. Like, I remember, like, every week you would get, like, some great match on television every week involving, like, AJ and Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose and, the likes of those kind of people when, SmackDown Live kind of first started in, 3 years ago, I believe, right? That was when the original draft was.
Roughly.
Or the second original draft, whatever. Yeah. So, like, at that time, and it's funny because, like, after the Superstar shakeup that year, like, that was when Jinder Mahal became the champion, and then, like, everything kind of fell apart there, and then SmackDown kind of became the lesser show, and then the next year, Raw became the show, and then SmackDown again became the...
Jinder Mahal's. The only issue I have with Jinder Mahal's title reign is that it was like, him versus Randy, which I'm not that interested in Randy, and I felt like that dragged on. And then he should have lost to Nakamura at some point. They dropped the ball on Nakamura. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to hate on Jinder Mahal's reign because you know what? Jinder Mahal was that champion you wanted to watch lose. You didn't really...
But why, though? But why? You wanted to watch him lose because he probably didn't think he was deserving of that spot. Like, is that the champion that you want, though? Is that really the champion that you want, though? Not someone that, like, you see him and it's like, he's a heel and, he's beating all your favorites and, like, you just want to finally see him lose that title. Like,
I mean, maybe that's the same thing as when it's a heel that you can't stand and you don't think it deserves it. You're waiting for who's going to be that one to beat him. It was just kind of sad that it became to put over.
The thing is, with that kind of logic, it's like, oh gosh, I can't even say this, but with that logic, it's like Baron Corbin should probably be Universal Champion then.
You know what? I would take Baron Corbin over Lesnar.
Oh no! Oh no!
Baron Corbin over Brock Lesnar. And then it just never ended.
My God, that logic, I mean, imagine Mahabali Shera beating Bobby Lashley for the title at that exact same time. That would have been something.
You scared Caesar away. No, he's doing a Brock party / Shiro shuffle. Caesar, he's paused. No, we have his feelings. Oh! See, Brett, stop talking about him. Hi, Caesar. We weren't talking about you.
You just put more time on my contract, didn't you?
1 month for every second away.
What? Boy?
It was more than 6 seconds, but I digress. Caesar has to order the Wendy's next time we're all together.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
I think they sell my spicy nuggets back by then. Which, hold on. And we're going to do another public service announcement. August 19th. August 19th is Spicy Nugget Day. Mark your calendars. Alright, well, I think we've pretty much run out of wrestling topic.
Yeah, there hasn't been much happening this week in the world of wrestling, but yeah, any other? I guess that's it for this week. I'm assuming pretty quiet week this week.
We can talk going forward to SummerSlam. I am looking forward to Bayley versus Ember Moon and Natalya versus Becky Lynch. I am looking forward to seeing Kofi beat Randy Orton and retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And yes, I see. And he missed it. Caesar missed all the important stuff. Yep. Alright. How many months were we just staring at the ceiling? How many are being added? Alright. Caesar, of any of the announced SummerSlam matches, is there anything you're looking forward to?
For SummerSlam?
For SummerSlam?
I'm looking forward to this Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston, seeing how that develops, because I did enjoy the promo that they had on SmackDown last Tuesday, kind of going back into that history with real life history with Kofi and Randy.
So Caesar, let's hear you do it. What championship is Kofi going to retain against Randy?
The WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Come on, Caesar. Gyrate those hips. Let's hear you do it. Let's hear you go Big E style.
Oh, you mean the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
See, we don't have any of us. Caesar would be more of the Big E of the group. Bet you're Xavier Woods. really excited to see. I'm not picturing Brett. There's a new emoji for you. Just you with a trombone, an alien with a trombone. Right? He's such a happy boy. Alright. Well, since I think Caesar is frozen on us, we're gonna go. So, oh, never mind. Caesar can do the closing now.
So if you have not done so already, please make sure that you sub to the channel. We would greatly appreciate you having us as a follower, and so that you never miss a never miss a stream. Make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified every time we start a stream, and also whenever a new Steven's Multiverse episode drops. We had one drop earlier today, I believe, Steven.
Yes. An All Elite one.
So you'll definitely want to check that out. Also, make sure that you follow us on the social medias at WRR Network FL on Twitter, at WRR Network on Instagram, Wrestling Reality Rundown on Facebook, and make sure you follow each and every single one of us at SKF Effect, at The Wrestling, at It's in the Invasion on Twitter, at LivLiv1122. Go follow her and ask her what's going on over there at the Galaxy. So, for this week, we thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Be good, y'all.